Tonight, the cleanup continues on the Dan River.
Nearly 40,000 tons of toxic sludge called coal ash went into the river in February. It feeds into our water supply in Hampton Roads. 10 on your side's Erin Kelly has been investigating how it impacts us and who's accountable for taking care of it.
Well, Hampton Roads public utilities officials tell me they haven't found anything in our water supply to cause concern. That's because of dilution and sediment trapping that happens along the way. But environmental groups along the river basin are now pushing for Duke Energy to make sure this won't happen again. Where the Dan River flows through the city of Danville, a major project is underway. It's to clean up what you don't see, settled under the surface.
We estimate between 30 and 39,000 tons of coal ash entered the river as a result of the spill at the Dan River plant.
That happened in February when a damaged pipe at Duke Energy's plant in North Carolina sent the sludge into the river like a draining bathtub.
We're going to be using a vacuum to essentially remove the sediment from the top all the way down to the sediment to the river bottom there.
The Dan River feeds into the Hampton Roads water supply through Lake Gaston.
Well, we immediately discontinued pumping from the Lake Gaston project.
Thomas Leahy, the director of public utilities for Virginia Beach, says that was out of an abundance of caution.
Under no circumstances could anything have moved down the river that quickly anyway. It would have taken at least a month just to get to Lake Gaston.
Leahy says there's no indication the coal ash ever made it that far, likely because it settled or was diluted. He believes it would take a much bigger spill to impact our water supply. How do we know that our water here is safe?
Well, one, we've been monitoring this water every day at 3 locations, and the arsenic levels are down almost below our detection levels. And 2, conventional water treatment plants are very efficient at removing arsenic.
These other locations are the areas you're concerned about.
Right, here, 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 and here.
The Roanoke River Basin Association and other environmental groups are pushing for Duke Energy to clean up other coal ash pits in the area.
As long as those sites are on the river basin, this kind of thing could happen again. And not only would we be affected, it would certainly affect everybody downstream, including Hampton Roads. And we've come back and asked in a legal intervention for Duke Energy to be required to not only clean up the site at Eden and the impacts of that particular disaster, but also to do some preventative measures. That is, there's 3 other lagoons similar to this on the river basin.
Duke Energy says it's looking at the other coal ash basins one by one to find out what to do with them. How do you know this won't happen again?
Well, you know, we've safely operated coal plants for decades in our service areas, and this is obviously been an incident that requires a lot of thoughtful look on the part of Duke Energy, but we're committed to making sure that we continue to operate our plant safely.
Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and Chesapeake will decide together when to resume pumping from that pipeline. They believe this disaster has proven their water supply system is resilient because they have other water sources. Meanwhile, state environmental groups are still looking into any impact on wildlife in the river, and it could be years before we know that. Erin Kelly, 10 on your side.